But me personally, I believe that death has to be more exciting, more intriguing, better than paying a man alimony every single month. It has to be. It's just, that's just outside of the order of things. You're not going to convince me that there are women who are sitting around saying to themselves, yes, this is the price I will pay to be the boss. Huh? What? Excuse me? Greetings. I look a hot mess. Look a hot mess. It's mad early in the morning. The sun just came up. I have somewhere to be, and I was on the phone with my sister, and we were having a conversation, and I want to bring parts of that conversation here to Closet Confessions, because I have a confession to make, because this is really boiling my blood. First of all, my name is Tenicka. My channel focuses on fashion, travel, beauty, and yapping. Okay, in today's video, we're yapping in a series that I like to call Closet Confessions. And here's the thing. I have to confess, I am not pro-marriage. I know that might come as a shock to some people, especially if you've never followed me on TikTok or you've never seen me like on live or anything like that. Like, you might be like, what? Tenicka, who's been married for ages, doesn't believe in marriage? I am not pro-marriage. I'm not pro-marriage in that kind of way. I'm not like an advocate for marriage. I'm not just going around telling people they should get married. I think that marriage for women is a risky proposition. No matter the age, no matter the resources, no matter the vetting process, no matter the time, I think at the end of the day, marriage is an institution that was built on misogyny and sexism and disregarding women. I just think that's what it is. Now, I think something can be historically, challenging, and you can still make it what you need to make it for yourself. But I think a lot of women don't do that. And a lot of women don't have the agency. A lot of women don't have the resources. A lot of women don't have the tools to do that. And they don't understand that this requires a lifelong unpacking of internalized misogyny, and you really have to do something about it. So let me just tell you what sparked this conversation. So I was having a conversation with my sister, who is over 35 and unmarried. She's actually older than me. She's my older sister. And I would say most of my life, she's never really expressed any deep-seated desire to get married. She's not one of those women that think her life will be unfulfilled if she doesn't get married. It's not that she's come to that conclusion. She never felt like that, right? And so I will definitely say that we didn't deal with that growing up. Like, we didn't deal with the pressure to be married. We didn't have any cultural norms, for better or worse, okay? For better or worse, around like marriage as a tradition or anything. So like, my parents are unmarried even to this day. When I was born, both my grandmothers were already divorced. So like, marriage was not, it was not put on a pedestal in our family as much as it is in other people's families. That's not to say that marriage isn't a good thing or can't be like really nurturing, or like lifelong partnership as an idea isn't something to aspire to. But like, as an institution alone, and the like examples that we saw growing up in our neighborhood where women were abused and forced to stay because that was her husband, like, we really didn't see that growing up. I mean, that's what we saw growing up. So, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm dying to do that. So there it is. I believe that the abuse, the alcoholism, and the drug addiction and unemployment that women and wives faced in the 80s and 90s is the equivalent to the financial manipulation, financial abuse, and the complete depletion of resources from women, I feel like they're the same thing. That's what's happening today. My sister and I both know women who are paying men alimony. Yes. Regular women. Everyday women. Everyday women. Everyday women. I'm not talking about Mary J. Blige. I'm talking about everyday women paying men alimony. Yes. And I'm not talking about, women who are making $400,000, $500,000 a year, though I know those women 100% are going around paying men who make $100,000 alimony. But I'm talking about women who are making $200,000, maybe $150,000 a year, and they're over 35 years old, and they married men who are making $50,000 a year, or even when they married them and met them, they were making the same, but these men all of a sudden started making $50,000 a year and or were unemployed, lost their job, quit their job, whatever, and these women are paying them alimony. Yes. Yes. Gag of the century. Like, what? We have lost the plot. Could you imagine marrying someone, a cis heterosexual man, who has the upper hand in society, right? Like, meaning, if he cheats on you, you have to decide whether or not you will stay with that man, even though if you cheat on him, the decision is pretty societally clear, okay? He's going to leave you. But you have to decide whether or not you're going to leave that man. And so many women are deciding to stay with these men because they're realizing that they make 3 times their salary, and they will have to pay these men alimony. And so these men are not only broke, but running havoc over their lives. So not only are these men broke, they're wreaking havoc over these women's lives. Yes, that's what's happening. That is what's happening. Okay, I know people, we want to be happy for people, but I think getting married past the age of 35 is one of the riskiest propositions that any woman could make in her life. I think it is something that you should consider the full scope of what can happen. You need to take a risk evaluation of all the things that can happen and see, is it better to be Oprah and Stedman? Or if something miraculously went wrong, because nobody goes into a marriage thinking it's going to end. People think they vetted this person. They think they know this person, right? And also, all of those things can be true. Right? I'm not blaming the women. But sometimes men get in marriages and relationships and act a fool. But because of the financial resources, because of the lack of mobility happening amongst the men class, they're really seeking out sugar mamas. And not in the form that y'all think. Y'all thinking millionaires and multimillionaires. The millionaire women are at risk. And if you are a woman making millions of dollars, or you have a net worth of $1 million, $1 million, $900,000, and you are marrying a man that's making $100,000 or less, $200,000 or less, or you are allowing that man to quit his job, or you are, God forbid, retiring that man or whatever, nobody can reach you. That's on you. Okay? So I'm not even, girl, that's on you. Things happen in marriages. People lose their jobs. People lose their jobs and they lose their minds. People lose their jobs, lose their minds, and decide to commit infidelity, and women find themselves in these situations. You have to have a prenup. If you are over 35 and you are making 6 figures, you have to have a prenup. I don't care if your house in Detroit that you bought for your grandmother is only worth $75,000. On Mad Day, when that man is mad and angry at you because you are stripping him of his lifestyle, ew. The thought of providing a man a lifestyle, ew, guys. I am progressive until a certain extent. This is where I hop off the train. You have to have a prenuptial agreement. You have to have a prenuptial agreement. You have to have a prenuptial agreement. You cannot risk your rental property in Baltimore. You cannot risk your 401k. You're thinking, oh, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not. Yeah, but you may have student loan debt. You may have this and you may have that. I even think, listen, if my daughter has some resources and she goes into a child dating situation with a man, I'm going to make her have a little sign a little piece of paper that he's not going to come after my daughter. These men see women with resources and they are re-rigging the game. They are deciding that they are the ones with agency and they're taking people for all they have. Look at Journey Smollett. Okay, Journey Smollett is a child actress. She's been acting since she was 3 years old. She just divorced her husband. She had to pay him one large lump sum. She's paying him monthly alimony. Could you imagine? Monthly. She's paying this man out. Monthly. And now he's trying to come for her SAG, Screen Actors Guild pension that she's been creating since she was 3 years old. And I know some woman out there, because some women believe that all things are equal because misogyny isn't real and all these things. So they're like, well, if it was a woman, y'all would say that the woman, if she makes less, that she would be entitled to the man's resources. Yes, I told you I'm progressive to a certain extent, and this is the extent to which I'm progressive. I think all my women, my femmes, my gays, because of societal treatment, because of misogyny, because of patriarchy, what it takes for us to access those kind of resources, most of us don't even have access to those kinds of resources until we're over 30. To the extent that many of us do get access to even a 6-figure salary, it is 30 plus. It is 30 plus. We have had to deal with probably sexual harassment in the workplace, being skipped over, looked over, passed over, all of these things. And it takes us far longer. And we're not going to sit here and act like the pay gap isn't real, because it is. The pay gap is very real. And so to have to go through that and suffer through that only for a man who said that he loves you to come and take that and have access to those resources that you work so hard for is insane and crazy. And it's happening at a shorter period of time. Now, once you're married for 20 years or, 15 years or all that, I mean, at that point, there's not really much that you can do. But I'm saying people are married at 35, 36, 37. They're like, this is my forever love, and I want to celebrate. It's really happening at every age, but I'm just putting an emphasis on 35 because I think there's so much societal pressure once you hit 35 to get married, and I think women are making split decisions that they wouldn't necessarily make if society didn't put the pressure on them. And I think there's also this pressure to prove for some women, not all. There, I've seen in my life, there's been some pressure for women to prove that they are not leftover or they're not throwaways and they've made a sound decision. And it was because they are older and more mature and have more resources that they're able to enter into a quote unquote better marriage. It's a flex, if you will, right? It is what it is. I don't really care either way. But some women see it as a flex, and so they get into these relationships and they are trying harder to make it work. And I'm not saying, listen, young women, every woman, I won't say every woman that I know because that's a lie, but I think that many women enter marriage with the pretense that they're not going to accept certain BS. But once they get into that marriage, they accept those things because they are afraid of societal pressure and societal judgment of divorce. I just think that's what's happening. But me personally, I believe that death has to be more exciting, more intriguing, better than paying a man alimony every single month. It has to be. It's just, that's just outside of the order of things. You're not going to convince me that there are women who are sitting around saying to themselves, yes, this is the price I will pay to be the boss. Huh? What? Excuse me? Take me away. Take me away. Take me away now, because what kind of life is that? There is no way. There is no way. You're not going to convince me that this is life. There is no way you are going to convince me that this is the order of things. And I just think not a lot of women are talking about it. I think that there's not a lot of conversation about it. People think it's a niche conversation. There are women suffering in silence that are not telling you that they're paying alimony. I know women who are paying $300 in alimony. It may not seem like a lot. I'm not saying stay in these marriages at all. I'm saying that once you're in it, it's very, very difficult for you to navigate out of it, especially if you are on the hook for paying alimony. And that is just another thing that you have to worry about. Why would you want to be Wendy Williams? Why would you want to be Mary J. Blige when you can just be Oprah? It's not Mary J. Blige's fault in any way, shape, or form. It is really on that man. But why would you, with your middle class salary that you clawed and gnawed for, your upper middle class lifestyle, your trips, your bags, your 401k, why would you strip your mother of your end of life services if something happened to you for a man you just met 3 years ago? Just because society and religion tells you that this man is your soulmate. And again, that goes for women of any age. But I just think that the responsibility for women over 35 getting married, I think is just a lot different. I personally don't know any woman in their 20s that's paying a man, you know, that much money. I know for some women, the worst thing that can happen to them is a man leaving them with kids, and they have to deal with societal misperception that they were a baby mama and baby mama culture. And I won't say I didn't care, but I just felt like that was an undue burden that people put on black women, as if so many women weren't dealing with being single moms. And I felt like it's a conversation that needs to be had with men and not with women, because I know so many women who wanted to actively be in relationship with these fools, and they left them high and dry because society allowed it. Their mothers allowed it, their fathers allowed it, their job allowed it. There was no pressure for these men to stay to be fathers and to work on their BS. Single motherhood didn't really move me to like, oh my God, that's the worst thing. Child, for me, was to work really, really hard and to then have to turn around and pay this man for 15 years after he cheated on me alimony. To cut this man a check, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. That's to me, that's too expensive of a lesson. In my personal opinion. That's too expensive of a lesson, and you don't have to do it. You just do not have to do it. I don't have a solution for vetting for that. I don't have a solution for figuring that out. But I think that if you are a woman, no matter your age, and you make over $100,000 a year, and you are entering a relationship, regardless of how much that man makes, I don't care if that man makes $900,000 a year, you need to have a prenuptial agreement. Because if that man quits his job, God forbid if he leaves his job voluntarily, you may be on the hook for that man and his lifestyle, and you might be paying for him, his new baby, and his new boo. You may not have a child with the man, and you may think you got out scot-free, you know, because the internet will have you to believe it's one thing to get rid of a man. It's one thing to get out of a relationship and not have a kid. It's like, oh my God, thank God I don't have a kid by this man. I thank God for you as well that you don't have a kid by that man. Amen. But also, ladies, imagine having to pay that man money and he's whining and dining his next boo and their baby on your dime. On your dime and your time. Girl, please. I've seen it. And I'm here to report to you that you don't want that for yourself. You do not want that for yourself. It is happening. There are women that are paying alimony. I think we also need to stop glamorizing some of these relationships that we see online. We need to stop glamorizing some of these celebrity relationships. We need to stop using them as life goals, because honestly, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We really don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, I'm not one of those conspiracy theorists who are like, so, you know, some people are so negative that they think that people are only going to show you what they want to show you. And, you know, people are getting abused behind the scene and everybody is. And I have a friend who, yeah, some people are. That's par for the course. There are some people you're thinking making a lot of money and not making a lot of money. There are people that you think, you know, there are celebrities that you think can sing that can't sing. Like, yes, there's deceptive tactics all around, but this idea that it's like gross and out of hand and everybody is participating in it, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think that you just have to believe that there are people out there who are incentivized to cover up the reality of their relationship because society is not as welcoming, and so they are covering things up. But I have enough friends in healthy, incredible, amazing relationships that have stood the test of time to know that that is not universally true. It's not universally true in my life. I've not seen that universally true in a lot of women's lives. And I think if it's universally true in your life, you need to check your circle. You need to check your circle. Are you attracting people in your life who are always in toxic relationships? You need to figure that out on your own. That has nothing to do with society, etc. I mean, it does have something to do with men. You know, I'm always going to shade the men folk. It does have something to do with men and what is allowable for men. So I do believe that. But I don't think it's true, I don't think it's true universally. I'm sorry to say to you, sister, but no one can be marked safe from an F-boy. No one. There's really no way to vet for it. They can go in, you can go in believing that they are precious and amazing, and you vet it and you never know what happens. It is your duty to protect yourself, to protect your assets, to protect your retirement. Homelessness amongst elder women is at an all-time high. It is at an all-time high. It was when I worked on homelessness issues in 2009 and 2010, but it continues to skyrocket to this day. It is one of those things in our society that we're not having conversations about. And of course, it's because of, financial health. We need some more financial literacy in our community. Sometimes it's high because there are women, elder women, who are giving away their Social Security and being manipulated out of their Social Security by some of their, oftentimes they're a mother of one, and they may have a son that has run into some systemic, incarceration issues, and we know that's happening in our community, but it is causing their mother to literally not have resources to take care of herself, right? But it is our duty to protect our assets. It is our duty to protect our future. We cannot be so whisked away in love. We cannot be so whisked away in lust. We cannot let the moment overtake us and I finally found the one and this is my soulmate and nothing can happen and I'm never going to get a divorce and, I'm one and done, our way into financial ruin. And we end up paying that man alimony. It is one thing to be financially successful as a woman. I think it is tremendously difficult for a woman to find financial success. All of the barriers in this lifetime. But when we do it, because we do it, right? When we do find financial success, when we do find financial stability, when we do find our groove and we build these empires, but we build stability around us, it is really on us to protect ourselves, right? We can't be so engulfed in the fantasy that we believe it is not possible and that it's not going to happen to us. Also, you don't know who you're going to be in, 10, 15 years. So many women come into their wealth after 40. So many women don't reach the status of, half a millionaire or millionaire or have assets that appreciate or become debt free until they're 50 years old. Right? And so imagine your 50-year-old self and all the things that she has acquired, and you just want to make smart decisions for her. Like, you owe it to her to be smart now. I'm not talking about the women who are already in this situation, and you can probably get a post-nup and, do a post-nuptial agreement and all that. But I'm talking, and I think also after 15, 20 years, it is what it is. The chips fall where they may. But I am saying, when you are at a certain age and you have a certain amount of resources, make sure that you protect those resources. Sometimes we get very love blind. We're smart in the books, we're smart in the streets, and we get dumb in the sheets. Hello. Like, let's not do that. Let's be smart and let's be wise. And let's take care of our resources and take care of our assets. Make sure we have a will. Make sure we know where our things are going. Make sure we know where our insurance is going. And make sure we protect ourselves if that man wants to fall victim to patriarchy and misogyny. I need to put my lashes and lips on. But if you made it this far, thank you so much. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Also hit the bell notification so that you never miss an upload from me. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm loading Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays until April. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I did miss when I went to Bali. I think I missed a day. So I'm sorry about that, but she's on it. Listen, I'm uploading Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Hopefully by the time this video goes up, my Bali vlog will have come out. But if it didn't, it's already edited. It's already done. So I'm super excited about the Bali vlog. The Bali vlog is coming. So I'm so excited about that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.